Look at this stuff. Whoa. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Sean Hages. I'm the creators of the Wild Aesthetic Inflatables. I made these based on some inspiration from sea life and other natural forms. I've been working on this project off and on for the last 10 years, and I enjoy exhibiting these at various music festivals and other events. I live in Detroit. I've lived here for 25 years, and I love art and design.
Cool. So you make these for a bunch of different clients, some music festivals, some other things?
Yeah. I originally got into this because I was working for making art for a movement with Paxahau. And a lot of the artists, we were making big work, and a lot of artists are using steel and wood, and they needed trucks and cranes and all these equipment to get their art on site. And I was like, I don't have trucks and cranes, like what am I going to do? And this presented itself as a medium that was really pragmatic in the sense that I can make it in my space and move it around in my Ford Taurus.
Yeah, that's amazing. You make such a huge thing, but then it's like as soon as you unplug the fans, like it shrinks down to something that fit in your car.
Yeah, I keep all this in a closet, in a big closet.
Wow.
Wow, in a big closet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have like a large studio space. I don't have a large place for cutting. I do all the work out of my kitchen, and sometimes if the fabric needs to be cut longer lengths, I'll do it inside the garage on the floor.
Oh, okay. And you have a sewing machine there in the garage?
No, that's the kitchen part. I do that on the kitchen table. Yeah, I have an old. It's where I'm comfortable. Like I got my laptop, and I like to put on Seinfeld or an old movie that I've seen. And I'll just sew and be in my home, and if I want a pop or something, the fridge is right there. And
yes. So you do this all on your kitchen table with a sewing machine?
Yep.
Lay all out, big old kitchen table?
It's just a regular sewing machine. It's like from the 1950s. I like the machine because it can sew pretty fast, and these it's long runs. A lot of the seams are 20 feet long. So it takes a long time just to run the seam through. So I like this machine. It just goes pretty fast.
So do you use a CAD program to come up with the design, a computer-aided design system, or do you like freehand this?
It depends on the client and the specific. Depends on how specific the rendering and planning phases has to match the actual product. So, like some of the stuff I've done for like corporate clients, they need to sign off on exactly what it's going to look like before they're going to give me money. So they're going to want to see a computer model.
You does that too, right?
Yeah. And then the patterning, some of the patterning I've had to do with the computer as well. Like I had this project where I had to make these big eggs. And
what?
Eggs, like big giant egg shapes. And so eggs, they have to be a pretty specific form to come off as an egg. Otherwise it looks like a ball or like a tube. So the pattern ended up having to use a computer just to get and print out the pattern at Kinko's, a really large pattern, so I can cut this fabric and get a really nice egg form. So I definitely use technology to help me, but it is another step that I prefer to avoid if possible. And I'm getting pretty good at like just making a thing.
You're pretty good at like knowing what it should look like in the general shapes that you need to put together to make the thing a shape.
Yep. I'll end up doing like rough dimensions where I'll have a drawing and then I'll kind of roughly, I know I want the thing to be 10 feet tall. So I see where this point 2/3 up, it hits about 2/3 up. So that's probably like 6.5 feet. So I kind of can roughly get the idea from paper into my brain and then onto fabric.
Okay. Yeah, because it's complicated. It's not a 1D shape; it's a 3D shape. It's you got, and then when you make a fabric, you got to make a 2D item into a 3D shape, and it's like and that takes a lot of skill.
Yeah, it's really weird. You don't get to really see the thing until it's done and inflated, and I'll even get lost when I'm trying to make the thing. I'll get lost with the piece because it's just fabric, and I'll be going around on this one seam, and I'll get back to where I started. And I'm like, oh, and I'm just lost on the floor because it's just a bunch of mess of fabric on my floor, and sometimes it can be kind of frustrating in that sense.
Especially crazy design like this thing over here, and all these design really, because it's all kind of
But it's so rewarding when it's inflated and it works and it's pretty dang close to what I wanted. It's really rewarding. But honestly, this is like the most forgiving medium I've ever used. I've worked with like clay and other sculpture mediums in the past, and like if you make something out of clay and it goes through the kiln and everything and it gets broken, you can't really fix it. Like in these, if they get broken, you can just sew them back together. If you want to change something, you can just cut in and sew more fabric in and change it. And like we could take all this fabric and cut it apart and make one big giant weird inflatable out of this, and it would be, no one would know. No one would ever know that it was these, or it's such a forgiving medium. You remember when you were a kid and you take like a sheet and put it over a fan and it would make like a inflated it out in your bed, or you make like a blanket for it with like a piece of fabric? It's like anything you put air into some fabric and it will make it inflatable.
Yeah.
All right, let's end it on that. I like that. High five. Great job. I don't know, what catches your eye in here? Like, what do you think is like?
Everything is like very eye-catching.
I know.
Like,
I'm not sure. I kind of like everything, really. Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to have one just for like set up somewhere. I don't know what for. It'd just be so fun, All right, this thing.
Yeah. Okay.
You were saying the patch.
So tell me about this thing.
Yeah. So this is one of the older pieces that's here. This is like, I think 13 or 14 years old, and originally it was just this main column up to these top three things, and I made this for a show that was about monsters. It was a group show about monsters in Detroit, and after a while I stopped liking the way it looked and I wanted to add more to it, and so I was getting these blue pieces of fabric from Cameron Balloons. They make hot air balloons in Chelsea, Michigan, and these are pieces of fabric that they were throwing away, either from errors in the weave or just for their making errors on site. And so once I got enough glue together, I was like, I'm gonna add on to this glue thing, and so you can change this medium at any time and like edit it. And then you can see right here, like this patch right here is from my bad engineering.
Really?
Yeah, and there was so much strain from the on the form right here
You had to add a patch.
that I had to patch over where it ripped. And like,
and expand it a little bit.
yep, because it needed to be fixed. I think I originally just sewed it, and then it was still too strained, so it needed to get like patched in.
I wonder how you did the engineering. Like, how did you end up doing it badly in the first place?
Well, I'm not like, I know you like in SolidWorks, you could model this all out, and it would show you the different strains on the form. Like you could do like a simulation where it would show you how the air is going to flow through this.
So SolidWorks is what you use for the CAD design?
No, I never use SolidWorks. That's way too complicated for me. I've been using a free program called Blender.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. People use it for movies.
Yeah,
But I've never used it.
Right, it's more usually directed like more for art, but it's free, so that's why I use it. And like again, I'm like working off a pencil drawing usually anyway, so like any kind of 3D modeling is like a huge improvement. What's up?
So yeah, and you make this all out of literally trash from a factory of not all hot air balloons, but factory waste products like scraps.
So it's in Chelsea, and so they've converted to CAD for their cutting now, and so they're using computer CNCs to cut the fabric, and they have very little waste now. But it's okay because I'm at the point in my career now where I can get a budget to buy fabric, but they're hardly throwing anything away now. They're mostly getting rid of fabric now because it'll have like weird inaccuracies in the weave or in the coating. Yeah. And their product it has to be really well made because you're going up in the air.
Oh yeah, and people die if it falls apart.
Right.
You hear this falls apart, you just gotta resew it. No big deal.
Right. Yeah, maybe some ravers will be sad at the festival that their art looks floppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's dying. So, so this one's just a great example of like how you can change and edit and modify this medium. I tell people they can interact with them like you would play with a dog. Like sometimes you can be kind of rough with a dog.
Oh yeah, this thing is so
but like you're not gonna body slam the dog. Like you can get kind of rough with the dog. Little kids love these. Little boys, the first thing they do is they're like, ah! And little girls, they come and they want to explore and like push their hands into here and like see what's going on with these. But yeah, it's a fun medium. People love the scale. People love just how we can transform a space into like an alien landscape or an alien world.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Eric.
And everybody, please like and subscribe. Look, it's all deflated now. Woo.
Like and subscribe, please.
Look how small everything is. All of a sudden, as soon as you blow with the plug.
Yeah, these don't live in a closet.
It's amazing. Yeah, we should talk. We should do something.